Chapter, Series 7, The Marriage. When I was shown this, this is where God told me that there would be some in today's modern day corrupt American church. Now keep in mind, there are still precious gems out there in the church. That is not a reference to all churches across America. There are still some great and wonderful, upstanding, law-abiding, God-loving, God-fearing churches out there that are still spreading the gospel. But as we all well know, there's others, quite literally, more than the gems that are left, that have allowed seducing spirits, and he warned us not to allow that happen. But just like it was when Jesus was here a little over 2,000 years ago, the Pharisees and Sadducees of that day, they had allowed seducing spirits in, and so they could not get past their own pride that we are the final authority. Who are you, this person from Nazareth, saying and laying claim as heresy that that you're God and everything, a lot of people get mad. Well, it was the Jews' fault. Well, no. Look at the entirety of that day referring to Calvary. Pilate, the governor, leading governor, the ruler of that area of the Roman Empire of Judea, Galilee, and all that, had final authority. And, he said, I find no fault in this man. And at that point in time, he said he should be set free. Yet, because he didn't want an uprising by the Jews and fear of Caesar, not thinking he was good enough to be leader of that area, governor of the area, and wanted to keep his position of perverted power and receive all these lavish gifts of all worldly accord. Anything of this world is of Satan. And so he let the people choose. When he had the final authority and had already made this, I find no fault in this guy, no law breakage, and should be set free. That's what should have happened. So the people that they get mad at the Jews, that was the Jews' fault that Jesus was crucified. Whoa. It was just as much the fault of the Gentiles. And keep in mind, he came here for all of us. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever, not just a Jew, or not just a Gentile, but whosoever, that means any and everyone, believeth in him, should not perish, but have everlasting life. This chapter series 7 about the marriage. As we all well know, if you're a believer, the marriage of the saints, the believers, to God, will live together forever and ever as one, bride and groom. When God looks down upon a earthly married man and woman, because they were married in holy matrimony, a man and woman, he looks upon them no longer as two individuals, but as one. As one. Keeping in mind, going back to the binary reference, this current system is strewn with either ones or potential ones and zeros, or potential zeros. And on finality today, once that final gavel is thrust down, and that former is done and eternity begins, if you were not found worthy, or your name was not found in the Lamb's Book of Life, you're thrown into the lake of fire. You're a zero, and zeros are nothing, and are nevermore. They are not part of the rest of eternity, actual reality, eternal actual reality, which is one. And everything in and of that is one. We know who God is. God knows who He is, and we know who God is. And keep in mind, since there is sin no more, that thought of why would God raise us up to His level? We're married to Him. And keep in mind that we will still have that reverence, that admiration, and we know who God is. We don't have the desire to what some people will think. So we're going to be up there at the same level as God. Or if someone's get a hankering, so to speak, to overthrow God. Oh, no. Whoa. You're referring to like what Lucifer did? That no longer exists. That perceived notion for the verification of free will, it's over. That which did not have a right to exist, he said, just leave it alone. It's there to have a visual option of to promote the veracity of free will. Free will, there's only one choice, folks. It's imperative that we make the right choice, the choice of one, not the choice of zero. And after finality day and for eternity, that one and only choice was the only choice there is, life. It's either the choice of life or death. And so when we are married to God, and including the rest of creation, the universe, everything is together as one. You know, he asked me, and I'm going back, summing up something earlier, he asked me what I thought the largest number in the world is. And, you know, he already saw my answers. He goes, infinity? I'm like, well, I'll be kind of cute. Infinity to infinity squared. You know, infinity to the infinity power. It was okay. It's being, I go, but you know, when you stop thinking, because there it is, Russ, say it. Everything out there, its total sum of parts is all part of one. One is the largest number there is. One encapsulates everything. So, because although God can do any and everything, there is one thing He won't do. Therefore, He can't. God will not sin. God is not of sin. Sin did not come from God. He will not sin. Therefore, He can't. The same after eternity begins and the marriage between God and the saints occurs, sin no longer exists. Keep that in mind. Look at it that way. We can't raise up against God. We are in love with God. We are His chosen. And so some people out there in this seduced church that is out there now, also you're putting yourselves up there equal to God. And they want to make it all about them. And we all know about those churches. And he says, you'll see these for who they are, for they are wolves in sheep's clothing. And with that said, I will come back and maybe tie up some loose points that I may have left out in some of the smooth flowing and understanding of these chapter series. But as it stands right now, that is the conclusion of a 7-part series that was shown by God. Thank you. May God bless you, and amen.